Hare Krishna. Let me know once you're able to see the screen. Where it went, PPT. Yeah. Okay, can somebody please confirm if you're able to see the screen?
Yes, Guruji, it is audible and visible.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So, Hare Krishna, welcome you to this course of Gita Gyan, Essence of Bhagavad Gita by ISKCON Seshadripuram, Bangalore. We'll start with the prayers. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namah.
अक्षरं येना तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale
नमो विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine
श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिनी.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारणे
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarine
निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चाचार्य
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
जय श्री कृष्ण नित्यानंद
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda
श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि हरि गौरा भक्त वृंदा.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
हरे
Hare,
हरे
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Somnite Namane Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Padayani Gaurakata Dhamadayane Kara Karamatarini Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lente Krim Yat Kripataham Aham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Esharan. Hare Krishna, welcome again everyone, all devotees. So we'll start with today's program. So this, just a second.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have my cousin brother joining me today.
Okay. That's nice Mataji. Thank you
Just
for
a moment,
bringing them.
Prabhuji. I'll just turn my video.
Okay, okay. He's there with you Mataji? Your cousin brother also? Or he is joined? Hare Krishna Prabhu. How are you Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
What's your name Prabhu?
Siddharth.
Hare Krishna. So you're also learning Bhagavad Gita? Siddharth Prabhu?
Yes,
Nice.
sir.
Very nice Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you Damati Mataji for bringing kids and preaching. So that's what we can say. Anybody can preach. So Damati Mataji is at this young age only she is trying to preach. Thank you Mataji. Yeah. So we'll start with our program. I'll just mute everyone. I'm getting a disturbance from there. Yeah. So this program is dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada actually one time told very one important word, which was, we become what we associate with. What kind of association we'll be having, that kind of person will be becoming over the period of time. So why Srila Prabhupada told was that he gave an example also. If we try to associate with impure people, impure activities, impure thoughts will be coming, and that's the reason we will be becoming polluted. So similarly, if we try to associate with this people who are pure, their activities that are pure and their thoughts that are always pure, so we also, when we come in contact with those devotees or those kind of person, we also get purified. So Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, gave that example one time of an iron rod actually. So he gave that analogy that if you put that iron rod in fire, what will happen? The iron rod will also become very red. First it will become red, and then it will become like hot as like fire. So whatever the fire properties will be having, the same will transfer into that iron rod also. And if you touch that iron rod, your hand will be getting burned. So same way, if you see, the when you are touching the fire directly, the hands gets burned. So same way, if you touch that iron rod, your hand also burns. So that is the power of association. And if you see, the same iron rod which was put into a fire, and the same when it was put into this iron was put into this ice, it become as cold as ice. So our purification or our degradation actually is based on what our mind and senses associate with. So we can understand, like children will be there, over your children will be there. So parents usually tell, associate with good peoples, associate with the good peoples, then only will be able to study in your exams, and then how you'll be able to pass in your examination. If you associate with the bad kind of people who are doing some other activities, what will happen at the end of that curricular year? We might fail the examination. So that's Srila Prabhupada told about the power of association. And with that, we'll proceed. And we were also very inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, who is the spiritual master and GBC. Because of his mercy only, we are able to take the online classes. We'll pray to him and we'll begin with Gita Mahatmya. Okay, so who wants to read this shloka? And devotees, I'll request you can raise your hand also. Bindu Lekha Mataji, want to read it?
Yes,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
okay, Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Devaki Nandana Krishna Gita Padena Tushadi Yadana Vedir Danena Yajna Tirtha Pradadibi. The son of Devaki, the Supreme Lord Krishna cannot be satisfied by anyone.
Mataji, we lost your voice.
Cannot be satisfied by
Okay.
anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows, as much he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita.
Yes,
Sri
thank you, Mataji.
Valsana Viva Sandrasara, verse 22.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji, for reading. So here
Hare Krishna.
we have seen thank you, Mataji, Hare Krishna. So from last 13 days, all of you devotees are coming and reciting, reading Bhagavad Gita. So that's what Krishna is saying. When you're putting this kind of efforts, even if you're reading one shloka also or one word also, Krishna is very, very much satisfied. When you try to read Bhagavad Gita shlokas, it's saying Krishna is more satisfied. Other activities are also there, like studying of the Vedas, doing charity, doing sacrifices, going to pilgrimage, and taking vows also. So what kind of activities you do, it will make Krishna happy. But when somebody reads Bhagavad Gita daily, a verse daily, a word daily, Krishna is very, very much satisfied. So that's Vaishnava Tantra Sar. We'll proceed with further class. So today we are about to begin one important chapter, that is chapter 14, the three modes of material nature. So before we begin the class, okay, let's concentrate on this picture. What do you see? Can somebody answer? Okay, yeah, Dhamati Mataji. Siddharth Prabhu wants to answer. Yes,
I
Prabhu.
think can answer, Prabhuji.
Sir, Prabhuji, we can see three ladies playing puppets in their hand, and
Yeah,
Krishna's hand.
yes, very good. Any other answers or difference of thoughts? What Siddharth Prabhu said?
Prabhuji, can I say?
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Maybe my answer is more related to your answer because I have read this earlier also. These are the three ladies are none but the three modes of activities which are defined in the material world: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And how these three modes affect our affect the life of I mean all living and non-living. I mean everyone. How they affect our minds, everything, whole material world, how they affect. So that is what they play like a puppet. This whole material world.
Yes, yes, Mataji, you're correct. Okay, I see Rajesh Prabhu also wanted to say add something. Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yes, Prabhu, Mataji, what she said was absolutely right. And we get more with this all the three modes of, and we get involved in everything. So every time we get involved in this and we do make mistakes and all, we don't realize. And after some time we realize it and what mistake we made it. Because of this passion, ignorance, all three modes, Prabhu.
Mhm.
Same thing goes.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu, for adding it. So all answers are correct, as everyone said. Yeah. So we see, as you might have seen this, usually this plays in fair plays or when you go for melas and all. So this plays will be there. Somebody like puppets will be there in front of that curtain, and somebody will be rotating those. Or somebody might be performing any action with their hands, and that's how whatever action they perform, this puppets will be performing those kind of action. So similarly, as Mataji said, so these three beautiful ladies is nothing but under the energy of supervision of Krishna. And these three ladies is in the material nature where we are living. And similarly, we living beings are similarly the puppets in the hand of this three kind of material nature. What are those three kinds of material nature? It's mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So we'll discuss. Yes, Divya Mataji also says puppet play, Tamo, Rajo, Satoguna. Yes, Mataji, you're correct. So yesterday we talked about 24 elements, and in the 24th element, we saw that it was the unmanifested form of the three modes of material nature or pradhana. So today we'll see what these three modes of material natures is there, or what pradhana is there, and how our daily to daily activities or life gets affected. So this 14th chapter, 16th chapter, and 17th chapter also compromise on the based on three modes of material nature. So yesterday we saw that Krishna said there is a soul, and inside that soul there is a super soul is there. And now Krishna will be talking about his energy, inferior energy, or this prakriti, or this material nature where we are living. And these three modes of material natures lies in this material nature. So human beings are basically puppets in their hand. So let's proceed, and we'll read this Bhagavad Gita 14.1 shloka. Dhamati Mataji have raised your hand. Would you like to read, Mataji? Or Siddharth
Yes,
Prabhu? Anyone?
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Param Bhuyah Paravakshyami Jananam Janam Utmamam Yajnanatva Munahya Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Again I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection."
Yes. Thank you, Dhamati Mataji and Siddharth, with the good teamwork. Both of they have recited. That's why we need to share our bhakti also. We need to, yeah. So here in this chapter, this is again the knowledge section of the Gita, or the Gyan section of Bhagavad Gita, which Krishna is further giving. So this kind of knowledge actually, when we get, it helps in our daily to daily life. It's kind of aid which we get to progressing devotional service. So we heard also just in yesterday chapter, just only by hearing with the pure devotee's mouth what happened, like Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, what happens, we start progressing in devotional service, and at the end of this lifetime we get liberation, and we'll be able to go home, back to Godhead. So how this living entity actually getting entangled in these three modes of nature that we saw, these three devotees or the three ladies was controlling us. So here if you say the Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he then glorifies about the pure knowledge. What is this pure knowledge? So he's glorifying about this pure knowledge, and he's saying that again, see, till now Krishna is giving this knowledge, and he is glorifying this knowledge is very important. If you don't have the knowledge, what will happen? You won't be able to proceed or do any other activities. Also, we'll see in the further class also. So he's saying again, I am declaring to this supreme wisdom. This is the best of all knowledge, and he's saying, no, why it is known as best of knowledge? Because all the other sages, by knowing this knowledge, they have attained this supreme satisfaction, which is in the siddhi, or the supreme satisfaction, or the supreme siddhi of a human life is to go back home to God. So Krishna is given this wisdom not only to us, even the sages have taken in the past also, in the many yugas are there. So Bhagavad Gita is again we must again accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, actually as a theoretically also. If we say, then we will be there in the mood of Arjuna. We must not be envious. That's the reason Arjuna was chosen by Krishna to transfer this knowledge. So there were it's mentioned there also, Srila Prabhupada used to say there were other better shrotas also, better speakers also for a conversation, but there is a in a two things is there. One is a vakta and one is a shroker. That is, one is a speaker and one is a listener. So depending on the listener, the speaker actually speaks. So here, since Arjuna was non-invasive, he was a friend of Krishna, and he was having a lot of faith and shraddha, that's the reason Krishna is given this supreme wisdom to him. So that's when the Sri Krishna is saying, I will be declaring you this supreme knowledge. Let's see what Krishna is giving. So this is when somebody, you can memorize this shloka also. If somebody asks you, can you tell me who is coming first, or somebody is there. So Krishna here it is saying in this shloka that I am the Ajam Bija Pradhapita. So I am the father of the whole material creation, and from me only everything is emanated. Let's see, we'll read. Yashika Mataji, you want to read? Please go ahead, Mataji.
सर्वा योनिषु कौन्त्या मूर्तया संभवति यः तस्म ब्रह्मा महद्योनिर aham bija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So sometimes a question arises, who came first? If Krishna is present in front of 5,000 years again before he came, we saw in the 4th chapter also, he gave the same knowledge 2 million years of ago to the sun god also. So that's what he's saying. It should be always be understand whatever species of life, there are 84 species of life are there in this material world. He's saying how they can be coming into this material nature is only possible by birth. So through via birth only we'll be able to come. Either we'll be there in the womb of our mother, whatever, whether we are animal or something is there, will be coming by birth only. And we have seen how birth is a painful process is there. And then Krishna is saying, whoever is coming in this material world, I am the seed giving father. Aham bija pradapita. So how it is gave? So sometime actually we think that nature is the source or the mother. We say mother nature. But that is true. But who is the father? So Krishna is saying here, I am the father. I am the source. So without a father, a mother won't be getting a child. So here we can see in this picture also just how simply Lord Krishna, when he glances from his eyes, this whole material manifestation take place. We see how Karana Daksha Vishnu also lies in there, and from his, when he take breath, one material universe is formed and one material universe is annihilated also within a fraction of his time. So that's why Krishna is saying just by looking only he is able to do. So Krishna is glancing over the material nature, and this material nature is formed here. It's mentioned in the Srila Prabhupada says this material world is impregnated with this living entities. We saw how 14 planets are being created, and all these living entities are there who comes in different various forms at the time of creation according to their past karmas. So Krishna is saying Aham Bija Prada. So who is the source of all living entity? The source is Krishna, not Mother Nature. So how can we actually know this analogy or know explain this? Srila Prabhupada gives a beautiful example. He says when you go, you might be knowing that scorpions, so usually what does scorpion does when they want to lay eggs, they doesn't where they lay their eggs is there are in our houses we might be able to find there will be a bump of rice will be there, which will be there in the container will be there. So what happens? The scorpion usually will lays their eggs in the rice. But if you see, does this scorpion baby which is born, does it come from rice or does it was born from the scorpion itself? So we see the even though scorpion lays its eggs in the rice, but the rice is not the cause of the scorpion. Similarly, this material nature is not the cause of birth of our whatever living entities or the jivas are there. It is like the mother which provide the body for the living entity. So Lord is the supreme father who what he does, how he impregnates this nature, but just by potting glance. How we come when our parents have they meet each other, and then that's the reason we are born here in this material nature. But this material nature is there, just Krishna, when he glances into this material nature, it's been found. So this material nature is superior nature when it is mixed with the will of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's the reason all the living entities again will be born in this material nature. So that's his Krishna is taking, I am this aham bija pradapita. So from me only everything is coming. So this material nature also comes back when it's this nature what is ever is there, we see when this one material nature or the one brahmanda, when it gets annihilated again, it goes back into the body of Krishna itself only. When it starts from his body and again it goes inside this body. So we living entity is superior to this material nature. How this happens, we'll see further. Okay. Who wants to read this shloka? 14.5. Okay, Komal Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Satvam
Krishna.
Sama iti gunah prakriti sambhavah nibadananti mahabaho dehi dehinam avyayam. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjun, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So we'll understand here what Krishna is talking about, this three modes of material nature. So he's saying material nature is consisting of three modes. What is that? Sattva means mode of passion, mode of goodness. Rajas means mode of passion, and tamas means mode of ignorance. So we this material nature is consisting of these three modes of like we can, how we can understand with the three colors. I'll come to that. So what happens? A living entity usually have this combination of one or the others, and one person sometimes may be in the mode of goodness, sometimes maybe in the mode of passion, and sometimes it may be mode of ignorance also. How we can understand? Let's see here. If you see, there are three blockages are there. Color combination we see when we mix two other colors, it gives a different combination of color also. So just it's to give an example, if it doesn't resembles anything. So this goodness, passion, and ignorance, when this eternal living entities comes in this, if it is so two colors. If you see, how we can understand is that when you combine this, if you take an example, we have taken yellow as a sattva and rajas and tamas. So when you combine this two thing, what will happen? It will give you an orange color. So sometimes what happens? Sometimes we are in the mode of goodness, and sometimes we are in the mode of ignorance also. Sometimes we are in the mode of ignorance, and sometimes we are mode in the passion also. So what will happen? It will give this one. And suppose we are there in the mode of goodness, and we are in the mode of ignorance. So what will happen? We'll give a different combination. And sometimes what happens? Similarly, all these three mode of material natures plays simultaneously at one time. We'll be thinking, there will be thought will be there, should I do good, or should we be there in the passionate mode will be there, and then ignorance will be there. So Krishna is saying is, with these three gunas, or this three gun, the living entities gets conditioned in that. Here if you see, he becomes conditioned. That's why we are known as a baddha jeev. We are known as a condition by this three modes of material nature, or the three gunas. Actually we get attached to that. So how we can understand? Just if you see, when it rains actually, so if it is a raining is there, if you take water, or if you collect in your hand or in a glass, you can drink that water actually. It's very pure actually. So but when the same water falls, as it is falling down, if it is falling on the mud, the same water becomes dirty actually. That's why if you see, there is 90% of that water is being covered, but that's are not pure water. So it depends actually where the water is falling. It depends differently wherever it falls. It depends there. So wherever it is falling, if it is falls into austere, it becomes actually, that water becomes into pearl. If it is the same water is falling into that drain, or where there is dirty things are there, the same water becomes dirty also. And if the same water is falling into a well, it becomes a well water. So what happens? This eternal, this living entities also is coming when Supreme Lord is impregnant. So once it's come in contact with this material natures, it becomes conditioned by these three modes of material nature, just like the color combination is there. So any activity that we do is a combination of three of this mode. So what happens? Yellow, this one sattva gun is there, this comes in the mode of goodness. So usually this kind of people who falls under this mode of goodness, they will be very pure, and they will be illuminating, and they will be kind of sinless person will be there. And what is there, person who, or the soul who is always there in that mode of just a minute, somebody is there, yeah, sorry. Where was I? Can somebody say? Yeah, mode of goodness. So I was saying this person who is there in the mode of goodness will be, this soul is this all will be always feeling sense of happiness and knowledge. He will be always be there in the knowledge. The person who is there in the mode of passion, if you can see this, the red one which is there is full of longingness will be there, and desires, lot of desires will be there. He want to achieve all those desires. And this kind of people who are there are the souls who are engages in this mode of passion. Their was usually they want to accomplish more and more materially. And the person who are there in this tamas, which the blue ones is there in the mode of ignorance. So what happens, the person who's there in this mode of ignorance, what happens, usually they get bind into this one, and that's what is the result is there. Either they will be having madness, or lot of sleep will be coming, or in the like they will be mad usually. Let's see each goodness mode of goodness, sattva, passion, and rajas was Krishna is telling about this one further to Arjuna. Okay, so this one 14.6 is mode of goodness which Krishna is telling. Okay, who wants to read? Rupa Mataji, please go ahead.
तत्र सत्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशाकम् अनामयं सुखसङ्गेन बध्नति ज्ञानसङ्गेन kanagam. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating and it's free one from all sinful reaction. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Here, so we should understand Krishna is given this understanding of the characters of modes of sattva, or the modes of goodness which people falls into this. This mode of goodness is purer than compared to the other goodness. So here it is saying why it is purer than the other, because Krishna is telling here, because this modes consist of knowledge being purer than the others, it's illuminating, and therefore it's frees from all sinful reaction. So knowledge plays a very important role. If you don't if you have that knowledge, what will happen? You won't be committing any mistakes. If you are not committing any mistakes, what will happen? You won't be getting any sinful reaction also. So that's why it's saying it's more purer. I was giving you that example of suppose there are 3 traffic lights are there. If somebody doesn't have the knowledge of that signals, which is the red, green, and yellow are there. So if you're going and if you're driving a vehicle or bike, if you don't have that knowledge of the signals, what will happen? If the red signal is there, you will cross that road. Either you will be meeting with an accident, or somebody will be getting injured. And if the police will caught hold of you, what they will do? They will find you, and that's why you will be making penalty of it. So what happens? If you had that knowledge that red means we need to stop our vehicle, what will happen? You won't be committing any mistakes. And that's the reason, with your committing of the mistakes, if suppose if I am driving and in the red, if I hit somebody and if the person gets died, so I'll be having a one sinful reaction I will be getting. So that's what he's saying. Krishna is saying this mode of goodness actually is free from all whatever sinful activities or whatever path we have done in our previous also. So those there in this situation become condition. What is Krishna is saying? Still, even though are there in the mode of goodness, they are born to this material world by what? Because they are so knowledgeable person, they becomes actually conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. So example are brahmanas, scientist, philosopher, and poet. So because they have a sense of happiness and they think like they have a knowledge. So sometimes a lot of time what happens, ahankara or the false ego comes. So he thinks that he knows everything, and then he thinks, okay, this place is very good to stay actually wherever we are staying, and he doesn't think so how I can go above beyond or beyond this one. And that's what happened, he stays there because of this knowledge, and that's what he's entrapped in this material world also. And like is saying, the flip side which Krishna is Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in this purport also, they says the generally these people who comes into this modes of goodness are binded by their senses of goodness and knowledge, which we have discussed right now. And they think, okay, I know everything, and when I'm living into this situation in this mode of goodness, he become conditioned and feel that he's very advanced in knowledge and he's better than that other person also. And in this way, when ahankara comes, he becomes conditioned when he thinks that, okay, I know everything. The best examples we can see are those people, scientists or this philosopher. So each and everyone, if you see, they are very proud of their knowledge, and because they generally improve their living condition, they feel a sort of material happiness among in themselves also. And what happens, this sense when it comes it of advancements in the happiness in this condition, so life makes them actually bond in the mode of goodness. And that's the reason they try to do work, I can continue doing that work in that one. And that's the reason they have to take some type of body in the again modes of material nature. And there is a saying, there is no likelihood to get liberation actually, or being transferred to that spiritual world. So repeatedly what will happen, this kind of person will be again becoming philosopher or scientist or a poet and becomes entangled, and that's the same disadvantage of birth and death will take place. Let's see what the Lord says about mode of passion. Ashwani Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Rajo Rajgatmaka Vidhi Tarasna Sang Samugbhav Tan Nibandandi Kaunteya Karma Sangena Dihinam. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desire and loneliness. O son of Kunti, and because of this emboding entity is bound to material fruitful action. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Ashwani Mataji, for reading. So here Krishna is talking about mode of passion, a mode of. So here in that last shloka, Krishna told the person who are there in the mode of goodness. So this kind of person will be always be satisfied, and the person who are there in the mode of passion is generally this kind of people will be having unlimited desires. They want to keep doing something because we want to keep doing as we get conditioned by our fruitive activities. What happens because of this passion or this rajoguna, we are always will be desiring actually to have something more and more. We work, what happens, I want to work more such that I'll be able to get more of my hard work. And this kind of person who falls under this mode of passion, they are never satisfied. The more they get, the more they become greedy and they want to work more and more. So why it is coming, so this kind of why they're not satisfied, because it's coming from the unlimited desires and longings. Not in this life also, sometimes they have this desires from their previous birth also. If that is not satisfied, again they take birth, and that's the reason they will be conditioned in this material life. So what are the results which Krishna is saying? So the person who is the embodied living entity is born to this material of fruitive action. And what will happen, I'm working, and that's how it will be there. So there is a beautiful example is there. We have seen in this material world, there is a attraction between a male and female, attraction between the two opposite gender or the sexes is there. So it's the most it comes under this mode of passion also. What happens, it never actually makes us happy, and we do many activities to fulfill it. We can get see this examples also. Sometimes person who after getting married also, if they are having 20-inch of TV, what will happen? Oh, like the neighbors have bought a 40-inch of TV, so let's upgrade itself. And then the same things can be also watched on 40-inch also, but then after sometimes what happens, 1 or 2 years again or 3 years, I say no, this 40-inch, it was not enough, I want a now 60-inch. And the market upgrade again comes, then I want a 60-inch LED TV. And that's how we, what happens, generally mother or a father, they again whatever their children ask or what is there, so they try to fulfill their desires. And again they work so day and night, they work so very hard, and because of their unlimited desires, we keep on doing one or the other fruitive activities, and that's the reason we get born. And suppose if you are working hard, whatever your desires are there, so sometimes what will happen, if your children will be asking you something, okay, I want a dad or mom, I want these things, and you will be having some targets will be there. And what will happen, okay, if you're not getting promotion, if you're not getting a profit out of your business, what will happen, you will get distress will be there. Oh, why I'm not getting, why I'm getting working so hard. And that this greediness will be coming. Sometimes you will be getting angry also on your family members who you are working, and that's the reason we shout also. So this mode of passion is actually characterized between how we saw the attraction between men and women. So woman has attraction for man and man has an attraction for woman. So modern civilization is considered actually to be advanced in the standard of mode of passion also. So it's some of the product of usually we see how we can understand who are those people who are there in the mode of passion are there. So those kind of people will be hankering for material enjoyment or their sense gratification. They want actually honor in the society, or they should be known, they should be the whole nation should be knowing them. This kind of people wants a happy family with his wife, house, children and all, etc. And then they construct a residence for their sense gratification, or we say, okay, to buy a house in Bangalore or in the Mumbai or something like that. If you have a house, you are saying you are a very richer person. So even if you are able to construct a residence for your sense gratification also, so one has to work actually very hard for this small 1 BHK house also. And we think as if we are going to live in this house as an eternal. I can resonate with those devotees who are working, those Matajis and Prabhujis who are working very day and night and hard just to give all their happiness to their family members. They go through a lot of pains, EMIs, loans and all those things, and whatever we are running or house we are building or taking this, and it's not going to stay for eternal. And that's the reason we are born by this our fruits of work. So that comes under mode of passion. So person like me comes into this mode of passion and ignorance. Why? Because we the maximum IT people work here day and day night, and we think like, okay, what's something we are getting out of it. Let's see what Krishna is talking about this mode of ignorance. Okay, who wants to read it? Chandrakant Prabhu, is it possible to read? Dipshika Mataji, Divya Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Dhamati Mataji, you want to read?
Ravi, can I?
Okay, who's that?
Uday.
Uday Mataji. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Tasmat tau ajanta jam vidyeyi mohanam sarva dehinam pramadashalaya nidra vahis tan nibandanati Bharata. O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is a delusion of all embodied living entities. The result of this mode or madness, indolence and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Thank you, Professor.
Yes, Thank you, Mataji. So Krishna is describing about the mode of ignorance or the tamoguna. So mode of ignorance is just the exact opposite of mode of goodness, which we have discussed. So it's in this mode of a person who is there in the mode of ignorance. Ignorance means agyanta. So that person doesn't know what is right and what is wrong. So what they do, there is always in the diligence of this living entities. And what is the results of this mode of good ignorance is there? This person are always mad. They are mad about whatever they'll be always in like something I want to do or something is there, and they will be always be there in the indoors, and they'll be very alsy always, and they will be always like feeling like they don't want to do any activities, and there will be like always sleeping. And that's the reason they bind this condition. So also, so this kind of person, they actually sleep for 10 to 12 hours, and they're in this indulgence. They are like so much of alsi. They will be this kind of person, they don't want to do any activity. They will be just sitting, you know. So what happened, this sometimes these people will be working day and night, and then they will come, and then they will, we can see this is a picture is without we just keeping word day and in and day out without seeing what is required actually. And once they come home, they will be taking intoxication or drugged, and that's what they don't want to face it. When any problems in their life will be coming, they take help of this drug or alcohol, and they just don't they want to forget their problem. As in like means whatever, any time when a problem is coming in your life, we need to face those problems. But this kind of people, what they will do, they will take the help of something else, and that's they will be forgetting their problem. And again, once they are intoxicated, once they come into their senses, again they will be in deep problem. Again they'll be, oh, again is, then again they will take. So everyone gets into this bodily state of this three is there: madness, indolence. A person in this picture which he is saying, he doesn't know that what that this whatever is this doing this activities is wrong. So just whatever working hard work he's doing and earning the same just to enjoy, he does all these things. So madness actually, if you see, Srila Prabhupada says what actual madness is about. Everyone is dying, but the people are madly accumulating money actually, not caring for the eternal soul. So that's Srila Prabhupada's one of the beautiful, how wonderfully he explains. And he says, this kind of people who are lazy is not interested. When we invite also, come, we have a Bhagavad Gita session is there, or for to come have an association of spiritual understanding also. They say, no, 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 I have lot of things to be done. And what they will do, they will just simply sit at their house, and they just simply waste their time like that. And this person will be coming is talking about sleep. So this usually they will, if you see 6 to 7 hours of sleep is sufficient, but sometimes due to this mode in the ignorance also, these people kind of sometimes sleep for 10 to 12 hours per day. So this will be there. This kind of people will be always be dejected, and they will be addicted to intoxication and sleeping. So that's mode of ignorance is there. Let's see what Krishna is saying here. So if some person, whatever person, we have discussed mode of goodness, mode of ignorance, and mode of passion. Whatever person, what happens, whatever three modes of nature it is there, it is mentioned in the scripture also, and we know the truth that death is for sure. We see sometime every person is dying, whether it is girlfriend, whether it is boyfriend, whether it is husband, whether it is wife, whether it is any of your family members, or in the material nature also with it. After sometimes the person is dying, still we work so hard day and night. So depending on the modes of nature, what will happen, what kind of mode of nature will be there, or mode of nature will be there, you will be going to that planet once you leave this body. So I'll request who wants to read, they can only read the translation only. It's fine.
Can
Balakrishna Prabhu, you
I?
want to read? Who's that?
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Can
Yeah. Please go ahead, Mataji.
like, यथा सत्त्वे प्रवर्तेतु प्रलयं याति देहभृत् तथोत्मा विधां लोकान् अमलां प्रतिपाद्यते राक्षसी प्रलयं गत्वा कर्मसङ्गीषु जायते तथा प्लविनस्तामसि मूढयोगी न जायते. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great six. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth
among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom.
Yes, thank you, Mataji, for reading. So here, Krishna is talking about. We'll discuss more on chapter 16 and 17, also this one. But Krishna is just giving when somebody who is dying or leaving this body, if that person is there in the mode of goodness, what will happen? Those kind of person will go to the higher planets. Krishna is saying very nicely. One who dies in the mode of goodness, he will attain to the higher planets. What are those higher planets? Either it will be Sargaloka, Brahma Loka, Tapoloka, and the topmost planet is known as Satyaloka or Tapoloka, which is the Brahma planet is there. And when if a person dies in the mode of passion, because they had the passion, we again get a human form of body. And if somebody is there in the mode of ignorance, they get a lower species of body or the animal. It might be cat, it might be dog, or it might be hog, the lower species. So we should actually avoid this. If you want to become dog and cat in your next birth, then what happens? You need to be coming above of this mode of nature. So this is coming, it takes in this animal kingdom. So what happens? Depending on whatever the mode of material nature we are at the time of death, we'll be getting a suitable kind of body. So let's see whatever we have discussed till now about mode of passion, mode of goodness, and mode of ignorance. So Krishna is summarizing here. So it's talking, if a person is there in the mode of goodness, what are the binding forces there? The senses will be always be feeling happiness. It will be always be satisfied. It will be this person will be always very, it will be very knowledgeable, and this person will be thinking he is there in this superiority. That's the reason they will be binded, and this one again they will be coming. And what is the characteristics of this kind of souls who are there in the mode of goodness? They have knowledge, they have no sinful reaction because they are in the knowledge. And what is the result? They will be always having a pious, they will do good karmas. What are the mode of passion is there? Attachment to this fruitive activities. And what are this? The robes of desires and attachment will be there. And what are the characteristics will be there? Intense. This will be, person will be having this intense desires. No, I want it. And then sometimes we say there's people will be like, greediness will be coming, angerness will be coming. No, no, if I want this. And there are very intense desires are there, unlimited. And this in desires comes because of their unlimited desires and longings. And they have a great attachments, whether it is material things or whether it's a person, it is there, and they are having a fruitive activities. And what is the results at the end? When we don't get what happens, we feel very miser. We feel, oh, nobody is able to help me. And the ignorance, we say madness, laziness, and sleep. These people will be always be in delusion, darkness, madness, and inertia will be there. And this kind of person is will be always be foolishness is with there. Let's see, this is we have discussed about peaks of three modes of material nature, or the three loka. Here if you see this three loka, higher planets, middle planets, and the lower planets. So we see when Lord Vishnu sweats comes, so this material manifestation, one Brahmanda is created. So anyone who is born in this 14 planets, even the Lord Brahma also needs to die actually. So everywhere and anywhere, if you go, if you do good karma also, if you go above the lokas also, Satya Loka also, which is Brahma abodes, even if you go there also, death is 100%. That is guaranteed. So even if you see whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whether you are healthy, or whether you are unhealthy, death comes to everyone. So that's what Krishna is talking about. You go any of these three lokas, these three modes of material nature will be always be there. Let's see what Krishna is further telling on to this slokas. Dhamati Mataji wanted to read. Please go ahead if it is possible. Or we'll give chances to other devotees also who wants to read. There are other slokas. Yes, Siddharth Prabhu, you want to read it? Please go ahead.
मां चायो व्यभिकरणे भक्ति योगेन सवते सागुणान् संति यैतान् ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
Yeah, thank you, Siddharth Prabhu, for reading it so nicely. So here Krishna talks about only way, is giving us the solution how we can come out of these three modes of material nature. He's saying if we want to come out of this material nature, we need to take the shelter of devotional service. So one who engages in devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, what happens? They are able to transcend these three modes of material nature, and they are able to come to that level of Brahman first. So Krishna here is saying pure bhakti is the process of transcending this mode of nature. When a person, when a devotee, he's doing a bhakti, he's above these three modes of material nature, a pure bhakti like Srila Prabhupada and all. So he's saying one, we need to engage in full devotional service, and then only they will be able to come to this one. And this, the three modes of material nature, thus comes to the level of Brahman. So we have yesterday or day before yesterday, we have seen this example of train analogy. Like if somebody was seeing this light, and they said, okay, I have seen. So that it was a Brahman analogy, or the energy of the Lord. Somebody who sees the engine from which the light was coming is nothing but a localized form of the Lord, which is known as a Paramatma, who is residing in every Jiva soul. And one further sees and sees that when the train is coming, we saw, okay, he is the Supreme Personality, from him only everything is coming. So here it is said, someone who engages in pure devotional service, he will be able to transcend. So in chapter 8 also, we have saying that this place, this material place, is known as Dukhalam Ashasana. The misery is everywhere, whether you are in the mode of goodness, whether you're in the mode of passion, whether it's your mode of ignorance also, their misery will be there. So one who does devotional service come to the level of this Brahman. So how we can understand is, there is a beautiful example is there. So one time, what happened? This is Narad Muni is there. So one time Narad Muni went to a jungle and he saw one hunter was there. His name was Mrigari. And what he was there, he was the enemy of animals. What he used to do, he used to take animals and he used to half kill, like he will cut his throat, or he will cut his what we say, any part of the body, and then he will live like that. And the bird or any animal who was there, they will suffer. Animal will be still be alive, and slowly they will leave this body. And when Narad Muni went and asked Mrigari, what you are doing? If you want to kill also, why are not you killing fully? Why you are killing half fully? So this Mrigari told, actually, this is the way I was taught with my ancestors, with my father, and also they taught. And then Mrigari told, why are you doing these activities? You can do other, Narad Muni told, why are you doing these activities to Mrigari? You can do other activities also. Why are you killing? So he's saying, what are the other activities which I can do? I think like the same animal, when I kill them, I go into the market and they sell them. And after selling them, whatever money I get, I feed my families and friends. And then Narad Muni asked him one question. Okay, you think your family and all they love much. So ask them one question. You go and ask them whatever at the time of death, or suppose if it is there, if I am accumulating bad karmas are there, you will be able to take those karmas or not. So when Mrigari went and asked this family, his wife and all, she told, like, whatever you are doing, you will be taking those karmas, why should I'll be sharing? And then Mrigari again came back, and then he understood. And this Mrigari told Narad Muni to explain what should I be doing. And then slowly Narad Muni started giving knowledge about the Lord, we can live and on. And then Narad Muni gave him this mantra, and told and give his mantras, and they say you can also take this dry grass leaf, and just outside of this village you can go there and sit there. And slowly what happened, over the time, this Mrigari became very famous. And the peoples, he saw, they saw the behavior change in this Mrigari. And when Mrigari behavior changed, the people used to come, take foods, fruits and all, they used to come and give to this Mrigari. And then Mrigari also understood there is other ways also of living is also there, it's not necessary to kill the other animals also. So this time, like that also, the time passed, and Mrigari was so engrossed in devotional service, and then he understood slowly all his sinful reaction was nullified, and he was able to come into this Brahman level, and then slowly he was able to come onto this platform also. So what time happened? So this Narad Muni, one time he was traveling with his Parvata Muni. So he's saying, let's, since I am traveling here, let's meet one of my disciple. Then he came here and he said, let me introduce you to somebody. And what happened, if you see, I'll zoom it, you'll be able to see this picture also clearly. So this Mrigari, when he saw Narad Muni and Parvata Muni was coming, he started running from there. And this Narad Muni says, see, he's told about his all this changes and all, how heart was changing. And slowly when he arrived up to this here, then this Mrigari actually started jumping on that places, from one places to another. And that Narad Muni actually asked, why are you jumping actually? And why are you walking like this, like that? It started walking like that. And then this Mrigari told, there are a lot of ants are there on the grounds. I'm seeing there are a bunch of ants are which is passing through this. So there was so much of herd change was there. Who used to kill half animals and they used to leave. He doesn't now want to kill ants also, and that's the reason he was carefully placing his legs such that any of that ants doesn't gets killed. And then Mrigari went to Narad Muni and Parvati Muni and he paid his obeisances. And that's what we can see, how by the association of the devotees, or by the association of the pure devotional service, this Mrigari was able to transcend these modes of material nature. He was there in the mode of ignorance. He just transcended this mode of material nature. He came to the and he became a devotee. So a devotee is there. He is above the modes of any other. A recent example is also we can see of about Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada went to the West. The people who preach were all hippies, different modes of nature. So always they will be always intoxication. So like 5 to 6 bottles of beer, there was like every meals there will be there. They used to do all those others. The girls and the boy used to live in a living relationship, everything, and there was always, so never used to see anything. But when they came in contact with Srila Prabhupada, they started doing in a devotional service. And this is a saying, the hippies becomes happies, and they transcend the three modes of nature. And some of their, we can say, are the Vaishnavas. And we can see how much we are able to learn from the foreign devotees. We're seeing they have left everything and they have just come to India. They're serving all this Gurukuls, Mayapur, and everything. And they're saying this are becomes a perfect Vaishnavas. And Srila Prabhupada says, any devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord is known as a Vaishnava. So they understand the scriptures more than we actually do, this foreigners and all. So they have come to the level of Brahman. And let's see what Krishna is saying in this further slide. Okay, who wants to read this sloka? Ashwani Mataji wanted to read. You've raised your hand or you have already read? Okay, who haven't read till now, I'll give a chance to them. Who wants to read? Pallavi Mataji, Rajesh Prabhu, Ramesh Prabhu, who wants to read? Shruti Mataji.
Prabhuji, here actually it's too noisy, so I'm not reading. Prabhuji.
No issues, Mataji. You can read. We'll be able to hear.
Okay, Prabhuji. Brahmano hi pratistham amratasya vaya ka samasya sukhas yatikyasa ka, and I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji, for reading. So here we have seen this Brahman. We saw that train analogy also. So Krishna is saying Brahman is a Brahman Jyoti, a light which is emanating from the body of Krishna himself. So we see, maybe I'll show you sometime other picture also. There is a 3/4 spiritual world is there, and 1/4 is this material world. In this whole unlimited, this Brahmanda is there. So if I say, so there is a difference between this spiritual world and material world is there. So there is a void there, there is a space is there. In that space, actually, we see this light comes, and people sometimes they thought, okay, I want to go, or they want to go into this light. So it's saying, Krishna here, it is saying, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman also. It's saying, which is immortal. This impersonal Brahman or the light is also that this is immortal, imperishable, and he's saying this is eternal. Krishna is further saying the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Even Srila Prabhupada mentions the constitution position of a Brahman is these three things: immortality, imperishability, and eternity, and happiness. A Brahman is actually this beginning of a transcendental realization. And further, if you go, the second level is Paramatma comes. The Paramatma or the super soul is the middle portion or the second stage in this transcendental realization. And when we come to this third stage, or which is known as this Bhagwan stage or the Supreme Personality stage, that is known as the ultimate realization of the absolute truth. So whatever previous you are having, yes, you will be able to realize God, but until if you meet Krishna, you know the Bhagwan, then only you will be able to realize. So therefore, this both Paramatma form and this impersonal Brahman are within this Supreme Personal Krishna himself only. So in the 7th chapter also, we have seen how this material nature is being manifested of Krishna inferior energy. So like that, Krishna has given this concept. So that's the reason if somebody is knowing, this is saying Krishna is the source of everything. So we it's the three material nature where we are living, it's everything is coming from Krishna. So this is a recap, and there we have 2 slides more, maybe chanting of the holy name and one important. So we'll see what Krishna generally talks here is there. I'll cover everything one time. So there is a connection between this chapter 13 and 14. What is that connection? Chapter 13, we saw how this living entity or the Purusha is entangled in this external energy of Prakriti due to his desire of enjoyment. So chapter 14 actually explains how this material energy binds a soul through the 3 modes of material nature, and then through this knowledge we'll be able to transcend, or through bhakti we'll be able to. So we saw Krishna reveals the best knowledge of by which great sages have attained this supreme destination. By knowing that we need to go above this 3 transcendence mode of nature only, then will be the sages have done it in the past also. So this material nature is the mother, and Krishna is the seed giving father. We have seen, we see there are different kinds of bodies and different kinds of activities are there under the different modes of nature is there, which is the cause of varieties and happiness and distress that comes in the mode of goodness. And there is a cause and effect will be there, binding force. Whatever modes you acquire, the person will be there either in this 6, 7, and 6 sloka was mode of goodness, 7th was mode of passion, and mode of ignorance was the 8th one. And sees what happens, the person whoever is when they leave this body, if their person is there in the mode of goodness, they go to the planet of sages, and that is their result of their pious karma which they have done in this life. The person who are there in the mode of passion, since they are engaged in these fruitive activities, the results is always misery. They will be keep on taking birth again and again. And ignorance is also there. They will get animal kingdom because they comes into the result is foolishness. And how we can transcend these 3 motives for 26 and 7 we saw by pure devotional service. One is able to transcend and reach up to the level of Brahman, and then slowly will be able to realize Paramatma and then Bhagwan also. So the Lord also said, I am the basis of impersonal form of the Lord. Yeah. So impersonal Brahman also we saw. Let's see who wants to. Okay, this is very important shloka. Who wants to read? Gayatri Mataji, it is possible to read. There is one quiz also after this. Let's see who answers correctly.
Yeah, I can try.
Yes, Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji.
It is the practice of Krishna consciousness. The devotee engages all the gates, the whole body, to reach the state of pure goodness. For example, the devotee uses the eyes and ears to read and hear the scriptures, the nostrils to smell flowers offered to the Lord, and the mouth to taste food offered to the Lord, and to chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sorry, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yes, thank you, Mataji, for reading. So we saw
Thank
how
you.
we can practice this Krishna consciousness. So when devotees engage in Krishna consciousness, his whole body, which consists of 24 elements, and the last element, which is known as the Pradhana. So what he is able to do? He is able to transcend. First, he is able to come unto the mode of goodness, pure goodness, sattva, pure services, and Suddha Sattva Guna is there, and how we can understand is there example is there. When we attend this Mangal Arati, what we see, we have seen this 9 types of devotional service, Navadada Bhakti. When anybody attends a Mangal Arati early in the morning, they are able to do this 9 kinds of devotional service at one time only. How is it there? So how we can see, so when the altar opens, through our eyes we are able to see the form of the Lord. So one through our eyes, or we are able to engage our senses also through our mouths or through our tongues. We are chanting, we are doing this samsara dava nalalidhaloka tranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam praptasya kalyana gunaravasya vande guru shri charanaravindam. So this is the first prayer which we offer in the Mangal Arati. When we are singing this Lord, we are praying obeisances to the Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravinda. We are praying obeisances to the Guru and Gauranga, such that we are able to do service. So what happens this, if we see the dhoops are being offered to the Lord, that same we can smell through our nose, and through ears we are able to see, through mouth is there, through hand we are engaging in that way. And the same thing when the flowers is offered to the Lord, the same thing we are smelling actually. And then we can read scriptures and all, we are seeing the mouth. And then once everything is done, wonderful, after Mangal Arati also, the bhoga has been offered to the Lord as sweet payasam is offered. If you taste that, if you come anytime Bangalore, I'll definitely highly recommend, please at least, if I'm there in that, I'll somebody's come and tell me, I'll keep that prasadam. It's the most tastiest payasam if I have ever had in my life. And the process is also like they take like Kanaya Prabhu is there who makes this wonderful prasadam. They make previous night, they boil the meal for 8 hours, 10 hours, and then the whole paisam takes around minimum 6 hours to 10 hours to prepare this. And it's very, very wonderful because it's been offered to the Lord, and it's very tasty also. And it's saying the same, the mouth can be used for the testing of the food which is offered to the Lord. And then we chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra after Mangal Arati, and that's how we are able to transcend these 3 modes of material nature, but just by chanting. After this class we'll chant, but let's see what are these 3 gunas which we have seen right now. So these are the some characteristics or some byproducts which we will be getting if you are there in this mode of sattva. You will be having always balance in your life, harmony will be there, positive you will be feeling, you will be always in peaceful, clarity of the thoughts will be there, will be always there in the light will be there, creativity, openness, intelligence will be there. If the person is there in the mode of rajas, what will happen, they won't be in the balance mode, they will be always in a movement, they want to do something, they want to achieve. And they will be always be doing some activities here and there, they will be full of energy and they want to do something. There will be always be excitement be there, because if you want to achieve something, you should be there in energy, or excitement is there, passionate will be there. I know I need to complete my, the ambitious should be there, then only they will be able to. There will be always a desire will be there, and there will be always be agitation, there will be always be agitated. No, if something I'm not able to do or something is there, there will be always anxiety will be there. Okay, if I'm not able to complete, what will happen? They will be always thinking about the future, what will happen if I'm not getting, or if I'm getting lost. So they will be there, and with this they will be always coming false egoism will be also coming. The person who is there in this mode of tamas or ignorance, they will, inertia will be there, they don't want to do anything, just sit simply in the bed and then do the inactivity, they don't want to do anything. And they will be always saying negative in their life, they will be sitting in the home and no activities, and they will be commenting negative things and all. There will be apathy will be there, and they will be always be dull, dark, delusion, depression, and these people will be always be there in this ignorance. Okay, let's see one quiz is there. Okay, can somebody tell this picture, which is the bottom hand right, which I'm focusing on, it comes under which mode of nature? Let's see who answers first. This right hand side which I am showing. Who wants to answer?
Mode goodness, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Bingo, Ishika Mataji. This comes under mode of goodness. Let's see which comes under this picture. What
Passion,
is
mode of passion.
Passion,
Yes.
Rajo.
Yes, yes, yes. And what is this right hand top?
Ignorance,
Mode
mode
of
of ignorance.
Yes. This left hand down.
Mode of
This
ignorance.
correct.
and this what is this picture which I am
Mode
showing?
of goodness.
Mode of goodness.
Yes. And what is this picture?
Mode of passion.
Mode of
Yes, all devotees have understood very clearly. So that's was the example which is there. We'll chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I'll request if you can wait, please wait. And this is a small announcement. Anyone who is able to complete the course and regular in the class, 5 questions after the end of the class, please attend this, and then we'll be able to get a certificate after the ending of this course. If somebody has a Bhagavad Gita copy, you can buy and give it to your family and friends also, or you can sponsor also, and that's the we'll be able to give this knowledge to other souls also. And if you want to buy Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 18 cantos are there, in different languages are there, all the stories are there. You will be bringing Lord Krishna himself to your home, and when whoever is buying Srimad Bhagavatam, let me know. We do Srimad Bhagavatam installation also at your home free of cost, and then we'll letting you know how we should be worshiping Srimad Bhagavatam also, and how you can bring Lord Krishna to your home also. And so this is about day after tomorrow class on Saturday 17th. We are having a Japa workshop. Part 1 will be having on Saturday. You can invite your family and friends, and that Japa workshop on Sunday will be having part 2. So this is about the daily Gita class. Every day morning except Saturday we are having them. So if you are able to join at early in the morning 4:30 or 5 o'clock, that is also fine. But at least you can join for half an hour. At least try to make it a habit in your daily life. 6:30 you should join this call, and when 6:30 to 6:45 we'll be able to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 2 rounds, and then 6:45 to 7 a.m. one Bhagavad sloka will be explained. It's been conducted in all different languages: English, Hindi, Oriya, Tamil, Telugu, and all these other languages are there. And it's we'll be sending this Zoom link again in the WhatsApp group. So it's saying great sacrifices such as Aswamedha Yagya also along with their remuneration are naturally achieved if somebody who daily hears and recite this Bhagavad Gita. So this is our address. I'll be back on Bangalore on 28th. So if somebody can come, or we can meet also, and you can also go on Sundays also. Srimad Bhagavatam Katha will be there, and followed by lunch prasadam will be there, which is a free of cost. Question answer will take at the end. And thank you devotees for joining. Maybe I'll share my screen again. And devotees.
Prabhuji, one question. In Bangalore, how many temples are there?
Many temples are there, Mataji, in Bangalore. More than 10 are there. ISKCON Seshadripuram only is having more than 10-15 outlets, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Many temples are there. Whatever, depending on whichever location is there, at least even if you're not able to come to the temple, there are small centers will be there, bhakti centers, which devotees you can connect on Saturdays and Sundays. There are special classes are there, all are free of cost. You can connect with there also. If you're there in Bangalore, let me know which places are there. I can give you a nearer place where you can go and attend this all association of the devotees and do section. Okay, can somebody please confirm if you are able to hear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah. If possible, you can turn on your videos also. So let's start. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashati Gaura Bhakta Binda.
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Binda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari
Shivashati Prabhakta Vinda. So